Great rising, good morning. Oh, happy Saturday, happy Saturday. Let me open a window. We're already trying to float on. um, Thank you so much. This is SoulFull Saturday with Daniyah, and I woke up really excited about today's message. And I normally don't have anything like structured or written down, but I had so much I had to like organize it. I was like, yo, okay. Um, and it was funny because I titled it my SoulFull Saturday sermon, and I was like, all right, don't run away from the word. Let's just see what the word gonna be. So as always, we're gonna start with giving gratitude and thanks. We are gonna pour a little libation for the ancestors, and we're gonna get right into it. And I've broken this down into segments. So we're gonna do first inspiration, and then we're going to do encouragement, well, empowerment rather. We're going to do empowerment, and then we're going to do encouragement. And depending on how I'm feeling at the end, I may do a collective reading just to deliver a message. So, if you're listening, you're watching, maybe you're catching this on a playback, and I would invite you to close your eyes. Um, Take a few deep breaths and just be open. Listen from your heart space. Be open to receive however this journey today comes. So, all praise be to the Most High Creator, the divine source of all. Thank you. Thank you so much for the inspiration for today. Thank you for encouraging me to bring this back. Thank you for anyone that receives this nourishment and is filled by this light. And thank you for allowing me to just be. I give all thanks and praise for protection, love, and wisdom that is shared today. Amen, amen, and ashe. All right. So we always want to give gratitude to the four corners of the earth, north, south, east, and west. We give gratitude to all the directions in between. So for anyone that is new here, new following, new watching, I am a psychic medium. And yeah, so if I end up channeling or anything, that is prone to happen. Even though I have notes, I am still just a vessel of source. And however that needs to happen, it's going to happen. And I'm saying that now because I can already feel. I already feel. So that's why I'm saying it. But yes, gratitude to our guardian angels, our ancestors, to the Orisha, gratitude to the ascended masters, gratitude to Mother Nature who holds us on this beautiful planet so clearly and so easily. Um, Gratitude to the animal spirits; those have been coming like real heavy for me. So gratitude to the animal spirits. And as always, we would not be here if it not were for the love, the perseverance, the determination, the good health, um, so many things that had to play out in order for us to be here. So we always give gratitude for our ancestors. So I pour libations for our honorable ancestors, both known and unknown to us. I pour libation for our ancestors that are of our lineage. I pour libation for our ancestors that are aligned to us, but not by blood. I pour libation for those that came before and paved the way for us all to be here today. I pour libation for those ancestors who continue to look out for us with unconditional love and wisdom. I pour libation for those ancestors whose names aren't called and know that they are remembered through our spirit. Okay. And I will water a plant or something like that. Okay. So we're going to begin with inspiration. So, we've set the tone, the energy is good. So, we're going to start with inspiration. And the way I wanted to start with inspiration today, we're going to go into how self love is a way of life. It's an act of worship. It's a spiritual practice. So I'm going to go into that, and you'll see there's some elements of that truth that'll be spoken about, or um, even more deeply illuminated as we go forward. Because I feel like all the pieces of what I wanted to talk about today align. But I wanted to share an affirmation over life. And I got this, I was listening to Steve Harvey do this, and it may be a Bible verse or something, but he was reciting this, and I listened to him, and I listened to it a few times, and I basically rewrote it in a way that most aligns to myself. So you can do the same thing. You can go find the Steve Harvey version. This one is mine. And again, you can rewrite this for yourself. And I wrote it in this way, and that's the other information I want to share very broadly, because even in the midst of me manifesting specific items, like, okay, I need $1,000 in the bank, or I need this amount of income each month to be taken care of, I also want to allow for the flexibility of the universe and how that's going to manifest. So I have regular ones that I feel like are daily, and then there's also the more specific ones. So this one is an overarching one, and then we're going to go into some individual ones. So my affirmation over my life: God, Goddess, the Most High, the Creator, Source, whatever resonates with you, does exceedingly and abundantly over all that I think, manifest, and desire, because I honor the knowing that I am as Source is. Blessings from the Most High chase me and overtake me with ease. I am always in the right place and the right time. People and spirit go out their way to be good to me. This is my life, my affirmation, my power, because God and I are one. So I will break this down. So, does exceedingly and abundantly over all that I think, manifest, and desire. So part of that is definitely an air of accountability, because your thoughts create your reality. So being cognizant of how you're thinking, because God is going to do that thing over and over again. So whatever you dwell on, whatever you think about, that is going to continue. What are you manifesting? Again, what is it that you're trying to call into your existence? What do you desire? Because what you desire desires you. What are you calling into your existence? And you know that this is happening because you and the Most High are one. You are not separate. You are one in the same. You are the creator having a human experience. Your soul, your energy, your essence. You are the Most High, not in part, but in totality. You are the Most High. So you're the Most High, and the Most High decided, hey, you know what? I want to be Jamie. I want to be Belinda. I want to be whoever. And I want to be this person, and I want to have this experience this time in this lifetime. And yeah, this specific energy may have been here in earth or incarnated in multiple lifetimes and is carrying a signature of those learnings. But the Most High said, there's still more I want to learn. There's still more. I didn't quite learn something in that last experience, so I want to do something and learn it this time. Or, you know what, this may be the last time I need to have this experience, and I just want to like run, whatever that needs to look like. Um, sorry. Whatever that needs to look like, that is what's happening in this life. And the awareness that you are the creator, and thus you are creating your experience. Okay, sorry, phone's vibrating. So blessings from the Most High chase me and overtake me with ease. And the one that Steve Harvey says, let's just chase me and overtake me. I need the ease part. Like, I don't want this to be hard. I want us to be like, uh, Falcon and Captain America in the Avengers. Or, well, it might specifically the Captain America movie. And Falcon is, and say Falcon is you, and Captain America is your blessings. sorry, Falcon. Oh man, but that is like, so here come the blessings on your left with ease. It's like Falcon is not outrunning this joy. Falcon might as well just be running in place because Captain America whoop, laps him on your left, blessing. Whoop, laps him on your left, blessing. That is how I want my blessings to overtake me, with ease. With ease. I am always in the right place in the right time. All is for your highest and greatest good. Wherever you are called to be, whatever you are called to do, whatever people you connect with. A lot of times we feel like when we have these connections and they end or they end badly, that wasn't a divine connection. Everybody you meet, from the cashier in the store to the person you look over to the right and smile at them because you're both at the light at the same time jamming to music, every single connection is divinely ordained and divinely orchestrated for your wellness, for your highest good, for their highest good. You have no idea what kind of energy exchange happened just simply because you turned, looked, both of y'all, and kept going. You have no idea what that did, that energy exchange could have sparked in that moment. That person could have been having a bad day. You could have been having a bad day. Everything is for your wellness and your highest good if you learn how to look at it and use that and transmute what may be negative into a positive. People and spirit. So in the Steve Harvey version, just says people and. I'm like, no, no, no. I want people, but I also want the divine to work. I want people and spirit to go out their way to be good to me. I want my spiritual team to be like, yo, you know what? Daniyah has really been doing the work. Let's send her a miracle. Yes, please do. I love miracles. Let's send her a synchronicity. You know, she loves those. Yes, I love those. Yes, yes, send those things too. Let's, hey, you know what? We're going to tap so and so and they're going to call her Jay and she's going to smile real big. Yes, do that. Do that. Do that. So I want both. I want the people, the physical experience of goodness coming from people and connections and things of that nature. But I also want the spiritual support as well. So again, a lot of times we need to be specific. It's open, but still specific. And then it closes with, this is my life. This is my life. This is how I live. This is how I move. This is going to be my belief structure. Because what this will do is, if this wasn't, this is going to create a paradigm shift. You're going to start to expand your subconscious more into your unconscious and bring in more of those things that align to this. So this is my life. This is my affirmation. I'm affirming this. I'm affirming it. I'm creating a firmament, a foundation. I'm affirming it. This is my power. It is my power. The power of the word. Everything started with a word, a thought, an idea. So this is my personal power, knowing that I and the Most High are one, because that's how it closes out. Because I and the Most High are one. So as I speak, so it is. As I think, so it shall be. That is my power. So that's my life affirmation. And I have, even if it's not daily, like when I, like, you know, the morning is going smoothly and I remember it, it's like, I need to say that. I need to read it, say it, put that energy in my being into the universe. So then I wrote some other ones. And what I really started doing is writing them over and over again. Sometimes I just read them, but this morning I felt like reading and writing. So it says, I have wellness in all areas of my life. For this, I am grateful. I have love in all areas of my life. For this, I am grateful. I am healthy and flourishing in all areas of my life. For this, I am grateful. I am prosperous and blessed in all areas of my life. For this, I am grateful. I am joyful and have peace of mind in all areas of my life. For this, I am grateful. I attract the love and joy of partnership and connections that support and align to all areas of my life. For this, I am grateful. I am grateful for all blessings known and unknown in my life. I, my children, and my family are blessed, and so it is for the good of all. Amen and Ashe. And I can break this down, but I have wellness. I have mental, spiritual, physical, emotional wellness. And this resonates in each area of my life, whether it is personal, whether it is romantic, whether it's platonic, whether it is work, whether it is finance. I have wellness in all areas of my life. For this, I am grateful. Meaning it already exists. I already have it. I already have it. That is present tense. And I'm already grateful for it in present tense. What that does, and gratitude is a feeling. This is a feeling. I am grateful. And it's one of like love and gratitude. Like that's if the feelings are in a vibrational scale, love and gratitude, that's the peak, that's the echelon. So I want to make sure that the universe, the most high spirit, the divine understands this is how I want to feel. This is what this experience does for me. Love. Again, I want to love what I do. I want to love playing. I want to love sleeping. I want to love, period, in every possible way. And I'm grateful for that. I want to be healthy and flourishing. I don't just want to be living, I want to be healthy and flourishing, like just looking radiant and feeling radiant and being radiant and healthy in my body. And I'm grateful for that. I'm prosperous and blessed. Got to add that blessed because I can have a bunch of crap. I'm prosperous and I'm blessed in all areas of my life. I am joyful and have peace of mind. And peace of mind, it's a broad thing because what gives you peace of mind? That's when you get to the specific manifestations. But I want peace of mind. I don't want to worry about bills. I don't want to worry about my health. I don't want to worry about my friends. I don't want to worry about, I just want peace of mind. I just need peace of mind. Also keeps my thoughts organized. Like when I'm like, I'm Aquarius, Sun, Mars, and Mercury. Busy mind, busy energy, busy thoughts. Like, so this gives me grounding and keeps me peaceful. I attract, um, I attract the love and joy of partnerships and connections that support and align to all areas of my life. So that means I attract friends that align. I attract teachers that align. I attract soulmates. I attract my soul family. I attract my loves. I attract my lovers. I attract the people that align to my life. I am grateful for all blessings because I always, it's a blessing, bring it unto me. Blessings known and unknown. So if I haven't got the vision of it, but it's a blessing, I want that too, and I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for all of my blessings, known and unknown to me in my life. And I added recently, like this is for this, I speak this over myself. I speak this over my children. I have a descendant elder. I speak this over my children and my family. So I speak this over my parents, my cousins, my children, my children's children, because time doesn't exist in spirit. So I'm speaking over my lineage, my family, forward and backward. They are all experiencing these blessings with gratitude in their life. So that is some mantras and affirmations that you can use and tweak or write your own and speak them out loud. Speak them out loud. I got a card that says spirit is hard of hearing, say it out loud. There's power in there's power in us thinking it, writing it, and then saying it out loud, because that the air that air element, there's energy, fire, when we're doing the thing, writing it. We're thinking, that's still air, thinking it or writing it. As we feel it, how it feels in our person, that's water, that's the emotion. Putting it on paper, making it visible, tangible, that is earth. So we're invoking the elements when we do this in multiple ways. So I hope that makes sense to y'all. So we're gonna move into the topic at hand. I told you I had notes. I have a book. I got notes, and we're gonna get it today. So we're still in the inspiration, and for today, I want to inspire you to live a life led by self-love. So I feel like in order to do that, you first have to know what self-love is. So this is my definition of self-love, and what I did for the self-love program that I teach is I broke down what self means and what love means, and that helps you see what self-love is. So self-love is to have a deep affection for who you are and how you are different from others. Because love is deep affection, and the self makes you different. What makes you different from somebody else? It is to be deeply interested in how you are different from others. So, what makes you different? Learning that, understanding that, and excuse me, I'm sorry, my hands is dry. I need learning it, understanding it, and embracing those differences. Um, Taking pleasure in how you're different from others. What makes you different? Does it, and make sure it, and allow it to be pleasing to you. Let it be pleasing in your sight. And taking an interest in how and taking an interest in how you're different from others. So actively seeking the knowledge about yourself that makes you special and unique. So self-love is introspective, and it's also an action. And living a life led by self-love leads to other things. It leads you to self-acceptance. It leads you to doing acts of self-care. It leads you to being self-assured. So, but it's all starts with love. Everything starts with love. Love is a driving force. So it all starts with love. So how does this look when you do it in action? So one is that comparison in the way that, oh my God, I don't have such a thing like this person. No, you love the fact that you don't have this because you are having your own unique journey. It is you're not comparing yourself to other people because you already know I'm different from this person, and that's okay. You don't have to compare. I already know that I'm different. I already know that my journey's different. I already know that my hair look different. I already know my skin look different. I already know my nose look different. I already know that how my spiritual practice looks is different. I already know I'm different, so there is no reason for me to compare myself to that other person. And when we say compare, it doesn't mean that, okay, this person is doing something that I want to do and I want to get advice, suggestions, and things like that. That is a different kind of energy. Comparison is like, I'll give you a good example. So I knew someone, and somebody I liked, and he like always tall, beautiful, exotic looking women. And I'm like, I don't look like this. I'm not them. I'm not them. And there was this a feeling of unworthiness that came with that comparison. Like I'm not as tall, I'm not as skinny. I did not there. So there was this unworthiness happening because I was comparing myself. When they were who they were, but I was who I was, and he liked me for who I am. I didn't have to try to be them. What he wanted was for me to be me. And that's the point. You rob people of the true experience of you when you don't allow you to be all of who you are. They are meant to meet you. They're not meant to meet this clone of this other person. They're not meant to meet who you think you're supposed to be. They're just meant to meet who you are and who you be. So so allowing yourself to be that and let that fully express is the blessing and what you're meant to do in your life. And that'll come up again later. So you honor yourself in totality. You are the creator having a human experience. Even outside of that, the creator created you as you are in totality. All of the things that are in your unconscious, all of the things that your subconscious decides to filter through in your all of this, your shadow, your light, all of this molded into you. You are the creator's creation. completely. Everything about you, from the follicles of your hair to the toenails on your feet, you are the creator's joy, creation. And you don't think about when you create something and you love it. Everything you create, you're like, oh my God, I love this so much. I made this thing. I did. So loving that in totality, that's why I say self-love is an act of worship. That is your offering to God. It's like, I love what you created as me, Lord. I love it. I love what you created as me. I love this vessel that you gave me to hold all of your energy in it. I love the hair, the nose. I love everything about me, including those things that I don't always share with other people. I love them too. Loving yourself in totality. There is so much power in that. You make choices that speak to who you know yourself to be. When my course, like we go through what is your core values? How do those core values translate into your mission? How does that mission tie into your vision for your life? Allowing it to evolve as you evolve and transform throughout your life. And letting that should lead your decision-making process. It should lead your decision-making process. When I realized corporate success, no, it didn't align to my mission. Success was still a core value, but it's almost at the bottom of my list. There were so many other things that were more important to me in my core values. That's important because that helps you make your decisions authentically and genuinely. You allow yourself the growth and joy in who you're becoming and who you're trying to be. You're not meant to stay the same. It's just like you don't stop growing, you don't stop transforming, you don't stop changing, and that's okay. So allowing yourself to simply be who you are in complete totality is so very important. Like it's important to let that growth and transformation take hold of you. You do not judge yourself because you love all facets of your being. Like, all right, another real life example. I cry easy. Very. That's probably why when spirit moves through me, the first thing I want to do is start sobbing. Like I cry easy. I am a Cancer rising, the sign of the divine feminine, emotions on swole. I cry easy. And for the longest time, I thought that made me weak. For the longest time, I thought this was a character flaw. I had no idea the fact that I allowed my emotions to move through me. And I didn't always, like, I did not always, because I judged myself for crying so easily, I spent a lot of time stifling it and holding it in because I didn't want, oh, there she goes crying again. She's such a crybaby. She's weak, blah, blah, blah. I didn't realize how much power I held when I allowed myself to cry. There's so much healing that I have been able to do, in all honesty, quickly and easily because I let myself cry. When I allow myself to feel the feels, whatever the feels are, and let that energy move, because that's what the tears are. Tears are a physical manifestation of that energy moving through your body and being released. When you don't cry, the energy's not moving, it's not being released. And then you end up with body pains, aches, and headaches, and things of that nature. You want to know what's wrong, but you keep stifling your feelings. I just don't stifle them. I acknowledge them and allow them to express in healthy ways. And crying is one of the most healthy ways to let your feelings express. I do not ever tell my sons don't cry. Never. I'm raising gods. I'm a goddess raising gods. I'm not allowing them to ever feel like there's anything wrong with their emotions or their tears. You feel like you need to cry, cry. I may not be able to change why you're crying. Like if you want a snack cake and I said no, that is what it is. If you need to cry, cry. But I'm not going to tell them, hey, don't cry. Stop all that. No, I'm not doing that because I'm not raising humans. I'm raising gods, and there is a difference. Um, you give yourself the grace, so much grace to be and exist and have all the wealth of the emotions One of the emotions that I have allowed myself more grace with lately to feel is anger. I didn't, I don't get angry. I don't get angry. Lie, untrue, lie. And getting angry does not make you less faithful or spiritual. I get angry. I get angry. Why? Because I am God sitting in a physical vessel. And last time when I talked about the many faces of God, one of the things I talked about was how God was described in like these various nuances in the Bible. You got the wrathful God and the gentle God. Same spectrum, you know, same spectrum. I'm happy or I'm sad, or I don't know what the other one for anger is, but same spectrum. I've got the God that loves, honors, and protects. The God is like, I will smite you. And what I realize in that is when I'm evoking protection from source, when I'm asking my spiritual team and the Most High to love me, but also make sure that if anybody tries to bring some foolishness my way, they get smoked. I need the wrathful God. I'm turning you into a pillar of salt, God, because I don't want that to come to me. If I don't want it to come to me, I need you to turn them to a pillar of, not literally, Lord. It's just a figure of speech. Just don't want nobody to turn to salt. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I need. I need that. And I also need it in me. So as much as I am the nurturing and caring Cancer rising, my moon, my emotions and feelings is in Aries, the god of war. I am both. I'm both nurturing, caring, and the goddess of war. I have smoked, even if I don't allow you to see it. It is present, and I have to allow myself the grace. So even yesterday, I posted a poem because I was mad. I said, honestly, somebody pissed me off. I was angry and I needed to do something with the feelings. Instead of trying to stifle them, I wrote them. And I was just honest with how I felt. And the more often I allow myself to express in healthy ways, my physical body doesn't hold the tension, the anger, the pain, the frustration. I can just simply be. And God is okay with that because that's exactly who God created me to be. The other thing is around fear. And one of the things, the limiting beliefs that is often repeated over and over again is, how can you have fear if you have faith? And I say, bullshit, respectfully. So what does it feel like to not judge yourself? And that is a judgment. And the way I said, like, my name, Daniyah, is God is my judge. And the beautiful aspect of that knowing is that God ain't judging you. God is not sitting someplace waiting for you to mess up. That just is not true. God's living life as you. God, like, hey, I'm gonna watch myself make a mistake and then I'm gonna punish myself. Things happen. Get away from the idea that you are being punished by the Most High. God is not meant to punish, but there is an equal and opposite. There's a reaction for every action. So some things have an action that's not quite pleasant. It's not me that you're being punished. It's just that's the result. That just is what it is. And the moment I got away from the idea that the Creator created this life experience to punish, I'm gonna create a life for me to go live, and then I'm gonna punish the shit out of myself. No, our actions have reactions. Our actions have reactions. That's it. Our actions have reactions. In the moment I stopped, and there's some things that are simply, there's a lot of things that are fate. Every timeline is fate. You have the free will is the notion that you can choose which timeline you exist on. But there's still an infinite number of timelines, and all of them are your choice, and all of them are your fate. I know that was a lot, right? That just came to me just now. Every timeline is a result of a choice that you freely made, and every timeline is fated. Why? Because God knows everything. So how you gonna outwit God? What? I'll have freedom, free will. I'm outwit God. No, you have free will, and you still have all the possibilities. God knows what the free will is because it's God's living the life. So I thought about fear, and what happens is when you limit yourself to feel like not feel the fear, what happens is you end up judging yourself. God ain't judging you, you are, or some other random ass human is. God's not judging you for being afraid. What God is going to do then is give you the signs, the symbols, the messages to try to help you move through the fear. God's not going to judge you for having the fear. It's what you do in the face of the fear that makes the decision of who you are. Are you going to be afraid and stay still? Or are you going to be afraid and I'm going to still do this shit? Are you going to just do it? And you're just going to do it and just and not know why you're doing it. You do it even if you don't know why. And know that when you come out on the other side, that is what faith looks like. I am terrified. I don't know how this is going to play out. But I'm going to do this shit anyway. Because I got faith that something bigger than me is happening and I have to make this move. I have my first show in November, and I would be lying if I didn't say I wasn't afraid I wouldn't make any money. That's a lie. I'm not gonna tell you that lie. I'm absolutely afraid. I won't lie to you and tell you I'm not afraid that somebody's not gonna show. Every Saturday morning that I do SoulFull Saturdays, I have to face the fear that no one's gonna show. And then you know what? I'm gonna do this shit anyway. Like now. Because I know there's a bigger reason for me to do it, even if I don't know what it is. That is what faith is. Faith is not a lack of fear. Faith is the act and bravery of moving in the face of fear. When I ask, I'm going through an awakening. And I asked my divination yesterday, what is this awakening doing to me? Like, what's awakening? Because since 2020, I've now gone through, this might be 3 or 4 in 2 years. And so I'm like, what is this one doing? And in the divination, this was specifically an Ifa divination. I got mystic vision and personal ashe. My connection to spirit is increasing my spiritual power. My personal spiritual power is being increased by spirit. Why? Because I keep standing in the face of fear and doing the shit anyway. That's why. So that's what you do. You don't push the fear down. You don't just, you're not supposed to be afraid. I'm human. I'm supposed to be afraid. Because that's the experience the creator wanted to have. Otherwise, I would not be in a human body. I'd still be a spirit guide. Oh. Well, I said it now. I would still be solely being a spirit guide. I'm still doing that shit too, but I'm also having a healing experience. Doing tea today, too much. And in this human experience, I am allowed to have fear. I just can't live there. I acknowledge the fear. I let the fear voice. I acknowledge where the fear is coming from. And then I look in the face of the fear and say, okay, well, we're about to do this shit anyway. We're going to do it anyway, because that is what creates the paradigm shift. That's what creates the paradigm shift. There's a fear there because our subconscious is filtering a belief. There is a belief in place that is causing the fear. And if you just turn the belief on its head, like, I'm going to do this anyway, because I don't live that life anymore. I don't have that belief. That is not in my belief structure. That is where you create change and transformation. And then you give thanks. And then you take this step and you celebrate that you did that shit, because that is where your faith is. So I hope that inspires you, because that was my intention. It's for it to inspire you. So now that I've inspired you, food for thought, empowerment. This is gonna be cool. Okay, so I recently came to the realization that I am a mystic. And this morning, I came to the realization that's still only limiting. I'm a lot. I'm a lot. And so one of the thoughts I had this week when I was thinking about what to talk about today was religion, religious, spiritual, and mystic. And can they coexist? And in my estimation, they can. And honestly, I feel like being a mystic, if you honor it truly, is being both religious and spiritual. And I will tell you why I feel that way. So let's go through definitions. Oh, hold on. Hold on. I had somebody to join. That's I got somebody to join. Hi, thanks for joining. You just missed the inspiration part, but I'm recording. So when I upload the playback, I'll send you the link so that you can see the inspiration part. So I'm literally just getting into empowerment, like just started. So cool. For this part, I can actually start that again. So this is a food for thought, something to think about, some knowledge just to sit with. And I recently came to the realization that I am a mystic. And I was like, okay. But then I also was trying to decide, was that still limiting, until I was looking at definitions. So earlier this week, when I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about today, it was religion and spiritual. Can you have one without the other? Can you be both? And what I felt like, especially for religion, is a lot of people hear religion and immediately go to organized structures. They go to dogma and things like that. And I am an Aquarius, Sun and Mercury. I'm all about the information and the knowledge. So I said, okay, let's see what this is. So excuse the cleavage shot. You're welcome to see. So I looked up, where's my glasses? Because I'm not gonna be able to see that without glasses. All right, so I looked up what religion actually means. So religion means service and worship of God or the supernatural. Okay. It says commitment or devotion to religious faith or observance. It's a cause, principle, or system beliefs held to with ardor and faith. I'm like, all right, there's nothing in that I disagree with. So then I said, well, what does spiritual mean? It says of, relating to, consisting of, or affecting the spirit, non-corporeal. And non-corporeal simply means having no material form, or something that, so this could be energy, God, emotions, thoughts, all of these things are concepts that are non-corporeal and thus fall under the spiritual umbrella. So even looking back to religion, this is a service and worship of God or supernatural, the non-corporeal. So you cannot have true religion and not also be spiritual.
Spiritual.
You have to be both. The structure of organized religion, I feel like, is what people don't want to have, but the actual act of being religious is spiritual. You are of service, and I'm gonna knock the word service off because for me personally, God don't need me to do anything for God. God is literally walking around as me. God and I are the same individual. We're walking around together. God's having a human experience through me. God don't need me to do anything for God. God needs me to do something for the collective. So I'm not in service to God. I give honor and reverence to God, but my service is to myself
Yeah.
and the collective. It's not to God. That commitment and devotion to my faith and observe. So I'm committed to however that needs to express, whether that is me saying a prayer, whether that is me going to some sort of ceremony or ritual. Again, that in itself is both spiritual and religious. It's a cause or principle or system of beliefs. So I will use people that believe that you should manifest with the new moon, release with the full moon, do manifestation rituals on waxings, release rituals waning. That is a system of beliefs. That is a religion. Whether they choose to acknowledge, by definition, when you do certain acts in a certain way for a certain reason, because this is your belief structure, that unto itself is a religion. It does not simply have to be one of the main well-known religions to be a religion. Any system of rituals, practice that relate to something non-corporeal is a religion. So now when you think about that, it's like, okay. Spiritual also relates to things that are sacred. So does religion. It's concerned with the and it literally in the definition says it's concerned with religious values. It's literally in the definition, and it's of or relating to supernatural beings or phenomena. You can be. I don't feel like you can have one without the other. I feel like because people are spiritual and coming more to spirituality, there's a wound from religion that they're running away from. And this is why the word religion is, it feels like it's dangerous. They don't want to have that word associated it. But if you take away the wound, if you go ahead and heal the wound and stop running from the wound and address the wound, then you'll realize you are still religious, even if you are not a part of an organized religion. The organization of the religion, you don't have to have that to have a religious practice. So yeah, I have a religious practice, and I every if I pull a card, that is my practice. That is I believe that I need to see the energy of the day. I'm going to see what planets align. That is my practice. That is my religion. That is my religion. It may not have a name or anything at this moment, but that is, in fact, my religion. And I realized I have a religious wound. And that was why initially I started on this journey saying I wasn't religious, because I had a religious wound. I grew up as a Hebrew Israelite, not the ones that you see yelling at people on the corner, different, not the same, not the same. But one of the things I grew up with is you're Israelite, you're Hebrew. What do you hear about that in the Bible? You are the chosen people. You are the chosen people. So that already puts you here. This already puts you here. You think as a little kid, you're here. And you like, if you do this, you're no longer to be one of the chosen people. If you do this, God's going to remove you from the chosen people. So now I feel like every time I make a mistake, what's going to happen? I'm not going to be one of the chosen. I'm going to be ostracized from my community. So it's like, oh my gosh. So tattoos is a perfect example. If you can see, I have one now. This tattoo though is only, it's not quite 2 years old yet. It's not quite 2 years old. It'll be 2 years old in February. But that's one of, like, outside of eating pork, Israelites, Jews, do pork. We don't do tattoos. That is, we don't mark our bodies. And that was one of the things as a kid, I always wanted a tattoo. Always, always. I thought they were fascinating. I thought they were so cool. I remember getting in very huge trouble because I went to Spencer's and Spencer's used to have a fire fake tattoo. Like this joint was like a whole sleeve and it looked real. And my dad came home like, what is that on her arm? It's fake. But it's on her, but it's fake. Like my mom tried to, like my dad wasn't trying to hear it. Like it's a tattoo. It's a tattoo. So I freaked out. I thought God was going to be mad at me. And I spent much of my life up until like 2020 feeling like every time something negative happened, God was punishing me, especially since my name literally means God is my judge. So my early feeling on that name, oh, wow, maybe why I made nobody pronounce it correctly. Oh, okay, that's just like a literal now moment. That's like a literal now that I avoid making people call me by my name because I felt like God was always judging me. Wow. Okay. All right. That's something to sit with later. But that was a thing. After the 2020 awakening, one of the things that my first mentor asked me is, what do you want? And I felt I just want a relationship with God. I just want to feel like God doesn't hate me. Like my firstborn child died in my arms. And I'm just like, that was the ultimate punishment for me. I was like, I had to have done something so horrible in a previous life because I've always believed in reincarnation. So I always felt like I had to have done something horrible for God to take my child from me, knowing I spent years thinking I couldn't have children. So what I learned in becoming a medium and being able to, in the oracle and being able to sit with source and literally get the answer is like, I'm not judging you. I'm not. I'm living as you. I'm not. And earlier in the segment, what I said is what I look like. I'm going to come and be you and judge my damn self. What? That didn't even make good sense. Like it don't make sense. So no, I'm not judging you. Like you're living, I'm living as you. I'm not judging you. I'm not judging you. The other thing that I came to, like I had a one-on-one conversation with Source about this tattoo. I was like, yo, if I get this tattoo, you're gonna hate me. I just want to know. I just want to know the real truth, the reality. If I get a tattoo, are you going to hate me? Are you going to punish me? No. And the day I got it lined up so perfectly, it was like, oh, you were serious. Like, you're not going, like everything worked out. I didn't have the money. My best friend ended up coming to join me for my first tattoo and paid the money I didn't have. So like, all right, hey, look, say less. So yeah, I'm both spiritual and religious. I can accept being religious now because I'm an initiated Ifa priestess. Like I am wanting to study Bhakti yoga. I'm an Aquarius. Sometimes I need structure to keep me like focused. Yeah. Oh God, so much so. So sometimes I need the structure, but I also have the flexibility of creating my own traditions. And this is where being a mystic comes in. So a mystic is someone who is united with God through prayer. What that sound like? Religion. Yeah. What that sound like? Spiritual. Priests and priestesses. Exactly. The experience with the divine is not tied to a specific set of religious practices or rituals. That sounds like spiritual. So being a mystic is being both religious and spiritual. When you look at some of the characteristics, they're like, they don't align to one specific set. And I don't like, you might see me do something like that is clearly hoodoo that she's doing right there. Again, I might be doing something and it is clearly Ifa specific. I might be doing something and like, is she a witch? And is. So it's my religious spiritual practice is mystic because it's eclectic. One of the things I read was like, they want to experience the divine in multiple ways. Yes, I have literally said, I want to experience God in every possible way that I can experience God. I do multiple forms of divination because of this. Like I do tarot, I do oracle, I do astrology, I do numerology, I do I Ching, I do Ifa divination. I channel, like I can experience getting those signs and synchronicities in multiple ways because God is infinite. So there are infinite possibilities of how God is going to show up in life. So that expression of what that looks like to me is mystical. Like it's not wholly religious, it's not wholly spiritual, it is mystical. And for me, for this empowerment section, this food for thought is to sit with yourself and to see, where are you? Are you religious? Are you spiritual? Are you mystical? And owning that, because I feel like being a mystic gives you unlimited possibilities of how your spiritual practice can evolve, grow, and manifest and be fluid and authentically you. And that was the other beautiful thing, is like one mystic is not going to look like another mystic, because the whole point of being a mystic is that this is my practice. This is not your practice. We may have elements of the things that are similar and the same, where we can commune like in a religion and do things together, but I don't need to always be in community. I can do some things solo, and it is equally powerful. So that is my empowerment message, is think about your spiritual practice, your communication with God, and see how you can make it more mystical. So the last part is encouragement. Now this one, I was not prepared for this. I was not prepared for this. And this is about alignment. And the way this came up, this is Hoodoo Heritage Month, and I have been trying to like read a different psalm. And because wasn't raised as a Christian, so I don't have a relationship with the Psalms. I don't have a relationship with the Book of Psalms. I'm like, okay, well, if I want to practice Hoodoo, that's a core element. Let me start learning about the Psalms.
I think the Psalms is a book of, it's pretty much a book of songs, different songs.
Yeah.
I was raised Christian. I was Pentecostal. So basically King David wrote it, I believe, in Glory for God. Like it's just a bunch of different songs.
And David is the masculine form of my name. So
Really?
David means God is my judge, and Daniyah, yeah, is the masculine of my name. So I chose Psalm 1, and I was going through, especially being Hebrew, I was looking at, some of the like I took the King James version and I broke down Psalm 1. And I don't know what caused me to do it. I was just like, initially I said, I'm gonna read Psalm 1 again this morning. And then all of a sudden it was like, I need to dig more into it. So I was like, okay, I don't know why, I'm gonna go ahead and dig more into it. So then I started to see overlaps with E5. And then I was like, this sounds like the core worldview truths of E5. So I'm going to read that first, and then I'm going to go into the breakdown of the psalm. I started to pull into the 42 laws of Ma'at, but I was like, that's a lot more. I can do that on another day. So this is E5 core world truth. We are all connected to everything in our universe. We are coded by our ancestors' experience. We came here with a purpose, know it, do it. That part is really important when we get to the psalm. We balance our ori. Our ori is in literal Yoruba translation means head, but that is our consciousness. So we balance our consciousness, our guardian ancestor, and our life path. We live in a benevolent universe. We cannot let fear shape our decisions. That part, you literally came on just as I finished talking about faith and fear, and the fact that the phrase, you can't have fear if you have faith, is a lie. And it's a limiting belief, and it causes you to stifle your emotions. What you have is an acknowledgement of the fear, the grace to have the fear, because you're still a human. God is still in this moment also divinely human, and is okay to experience the emotion of fear. What you do in the face of the fear is what shows your faith. So we cannot let the fear, it doesn't say don't have fear, it just says don't let the fear shape our decisions. We must trust ourselves and act accordingly. We must never initiate harm. We are responsible for the outcome of our life. That is also important to Psalm 1. We have everything we need, the universe provides for us. We need to focus on our character, also very important for Psalm 1. It determines our outcome. We have challenges that provide us the wisdom we need for our future and those around us. And we are all teachers and we are all students. And if I read that to someone and I didn't say that's from Ifa, that's from an African traditional religion, and I'm like, oh yeah, I resonate with all of those things. Cool, that's what a religion your ancestors practiced that you probably were told was evil.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, wait, but that don't sound evil. And no, it does not. We knew who God was before anyone else came to tell us. We were walking as God with God and knew it clearly before anyone came to tell us. So I went through Psalm 1. And so I said, it's the first part. Blessed is, it says the man, but I said the one because I ain't no man. So blessed is the one that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. So I broke this down a little bit. So blessed is the one that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. So in Ifa, those core world truths are summed up in one phrase called Iwa Pele, good character. And so I was like if I'm trying to live and I know that I'm God, I know I'm God. I know I'm the Most High. I'm not a part of fragment. I know the Most High is having a human experience with me. And that is how I'm trying to walk and live. You are the company that you keep. So if you're still trying to be human and that's all you want to be, and I want to be God, why we gonna hang out? Like if you just keep it just simple, like why would I like? And if we're gonna, why would I take advice from you? You're gonna give me human advice, and I need advice from a God. I need to be communing with gods and goddesses who could give me God and goddess advice. Why would I take limited human advice when I need divine guidance? So that's where I got from that walk is and not take counsel. I don't have to go take advice from the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners. This is the healer knowing who they are supposed to heal. We can't heal everybody. We can't save everybody. And allowing ourselves to stress out, what is that, right? Don't argue logic with illogical people. When I read that, that was what popped in my head. Do not argue logic with illogical people. If they're not ready to hear, that's okay. Oh my God, I don't remember this man's name, and it's probably going to come to me later. But there's a Black man and he's talking, and he said, it's a dangerous thing when you get chosen by the universe. And because when you're chosen, you get these glasses. And when you put the glasses on, you can never take them off.
You never take them off.
Never take them off. So now what you're supposed to see is not what you see. You only see the truth. And you can't make anybody else put those glasses on. So that is what that's saying is you can't stand in their way. You can't stand in their way. We'll talk about that word sinner in a minute, but you can't stand in their way. And it's nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. I ain't got time like that misery loves company energy. That's exactly what they're like. Misery loves company. I don't need to sit at your table while you're miserable. A good example is I have someone who, whatever corner of the internet he is on, always finds Black women that hate Black men. And it's like, yeah, I don't live there. I love Black men. I love them. Y'all are delightful. Y'all smell good. Yes, I love Black men. Like, it's not that there's people that irritate you in every aspect, but I love in totality Black men. And the fact that the corner of the internet you sit on, I need you to come to you want to come to my corner of the internet? It's light over here. It's a lot of Black women that love Black men. Like, I don't see that. He'll tell me I've never seen that. But everybody's talking about, everybody on your internet is talking about. But over here on the Black love internet, I don't see that. I don't see that. So that's why you don't sit there with those people, because you sit with the energy you want to cultivate in your life. So there's no reason to sit with that. And they're scornful, you joyful. Y'all can't sit together. So, and it says, but their delight in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. One, I just want to say, people who, especially Christians, like, oh, meditation, evil, you should pray. It literally tells you to meditate in the first song. Like, the word meditate is actually there. It's sit in contemplation. It's sit to and reflect. So I looked up the word law. and what law meant. And it's like, what is right? Again, it's not about a doctrine. It is simply about what is right. So what is right for you? When you sit in delight in what is right for you as a reflection of the Most High, that is what you meditate on. That is what you focus on. That is your compass. That is how you lead your life. So again, you're getting pieces of the earlier part. When a self-love aspect, when you have self-love, you move accordingly. You know what your core personal values are. You know what your personal mission and the vision for your life is. And those things guide your decision making. You meditate and focus on those things. So when people ask you, can you do such and such a thing? How does this align to who you are trying to be and the experience God is trying to have as you in this life? And that's how you make your decisions. So it says, he shall be like a tree planted by the river of water that brought forth his fruit in his season. Oh Lord, I can't read my own handwriting. And his, no, wait, because my handwriting is like, who wrote that?
I got it right here if you want me to read it for you.
Yeah, can you read it for me, love?
He shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper.
Thank you, love, because I'm like, this is chicken scratch. I don't know. This is how I can tell sometimes I'm channeling when I'm writing. I can't read my own handwriting. I'm like, this is not my handwriting. I don't know what this is. So one of the first visions I ever remember having was a tree by the river. I went looking everywhere in Augusta for this tree. Never found it. And so it's just a tree sitting by the water. And that's what I thought about when I read this. And you think about if the tree is sitting that close to the water, how much nourishment and nutrients. And then what I saw was an evergreen tree this morning. It's an evergreen tree. It don't like it, it's always green. It is green year round because it is getting constant nourishment. It's giving constant shade, animals, people, everyone. This is just a beautiful, beautiful place to be there right by the river. And it's getting this overflow of blessings. It's not just a trickle of blessings, not a trickle of water. It's a constant abundance of blessings, knowing that what you touch turns to gold. That awareness that because circling back, going backwards, because you have the discernment to know who you are, how you want to move, you are mindful of your energy by the company that you keep, and you walk with good character. So you know what feels good and right to you. So you know what you desire to manifest. And when your alignment, all that you desire, desires you. And I'm like, okay, I see what y'all doing there. Whether y'all do it or not, this is how I'm gonna take it. So the ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. So I looked up what chaff was. So chaff literally is like seed coverings, and is also comparatively worthless. So someone who is not in alignment, because that's what it means to be ungodly. When you know that you are one with the Most High, you're godly. If you don't know that, you're ungodly. It doesn't make you bad. They're not saying they're a bad person. They simply don't know that they're God. So the ungodly are like
unaligned.
They're ungrounded, so they're not in alignment. So they're not co-creating with intention the life. That means they can be swept away by the winds of change. Life is tossing them around from one experience to the next. So every time something happens, like there's a card in the tarot moment. They're having a tower moment. It's always a radical outward change. They don't know, they have no control. It's like tower, oh my God, I was just doing something, wait. Like they're on the winds of the tornado. Like in Ifa Oya is the Orisha of change. And she comes through with a tornado, with a typhoon, with a hurricane. And you can either be on the outside, just be, or you could realize you are the Most High co-creating and the stand in the center of the storm where it's calm, where it's peaceful. The change is still happening. The change is still happening, but you are protected in alignment to where you can move through the change with courage with discernment and know what you're supposed to do, because you're co-creating this change. You're also the cause of this change to happen. You are evoking this storm, and thus you are moving through it smoothly. So it says, therefore, the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. And so I had a couple of thoughts. So one of them was, immediately when I saw judgment, I thought about the judgment card in tarot. Actually, I wonder if it's close enough to where I can show you, because this is the visual I had. Really? You just gonna fall? That's what y'all gonna do? Fall? So in this particular deck, I'm gonna talk about it while I'm looking for it. The judgment card represents, it can represent literal judgment, because in the original tarot, there's what you see is an angel, and you see all these caskets opening, and all of these souls are raising their hands up to the angel. So you have that, but it also means it's a spiritual awakening. Those people are awake, their spirits awakening. It's about having a spiritual awakening. So in this particular deck, if it shows up while I'm talking, there you see a woman, and she's holding her heart, and what you see is her spirit, and the spirit looks like a ballerina. There she is. She looks like a ballerina simply dancing. She looks like a ballerina dancing. And this is because you are awakening to the truth of who you are. You're awakening to your passions and your desires and expressing them without judgment, without fear. And that's what the judgment card is about. It's not simply about others. It is about the release of judgment and living simply awakened and with faith. So when you think about people who are not in alignment, people who don't know that they're co-creating their life, people who don't know that it's okay to go after their passions, that it's okay to live in pleasure and ease, well, they can't stand in that awakened energy. They can't stand in that. Also, what you look like judging me? You still think you just a human? Like that was the other thought. You still think you simply people. You just people having a people experience when you don't realize you God having a people experience. And that is just something completely different. Then I thought, okay, let's talk about sin and sinners. So when you translate over and over again, the true meaning gets lost. And a lot of people hear the word sin, ooh, bad, you did something bad, you did something against God. In Hebrew, the word that the word sin comes from means to miss the goal. It means to go astray. It means to not be in alignment with your destiny. So you think about that in that sense. People who are not in alignment with their destiny are not sitting in the congregation of the righteous. The righteous means it's not about being religious or pious, but being on the right path with God. To be righteous means you're being on the right path with God. So you are either sitting by not knowing what your path is, by not being on the right path, or you're on the right path. Notice there's nothing bad in either one of those. There's nothing overtly good in one and overtly bad in the other. It is simply, are you in alignment or out of alignment? Do you know who you are, or do you not know who you are?
Yeah.
And people who are not in alignment can't be on the path. When they're not in alignment with who they are, if they're not moving in the truth of who they're supposed to be, then they're not sitting in the congregation of the righteous, because they don't know what the right path is. And I'm just like, and just imagine how many people like being told they're a sinner because, I'm going to use being gay as a good example. You're a sinner because you're gay, but they are honoring the truth of who they are. They are doing literally, they are loving. The word that everyone associates with the Creator, they are loving, period. Unafraid, I'm loving. This is just who I love. I don't know what to tell you. I love this person. They are righteous. When you think about non-binary people, is also a really good example. Oh my God, they're sinning against God. God is neither man nor woman. Let's just think about that. God is neither man nor woman, and regardless of how often people's egos need to attach a masculine pronoun, that's another conversation. Not masculine, a man pronoun, because masculine is an energy. So a man pronoun to make God a man. God is not a man. God's not a man. If God had to be limited to one or the other, God birthed things into existence. And ain't no man birthing nothing. Let's just go ahead and just see that. But God's not a man, God's not a woman. God is non-binary. That's going to make some people sick to their stomach. God is non-binary. So the question then becomes, what do they know about their connection to source that maybe some of us don't? They have not limited themselves to their physical expression. I am non-binary.
Yeah.
And that to me is very righteous. That is very, very righteous.
Yeah.
So the last part is, for the Lord knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. And so when I think about that, it's not that, oh my God, because you're not on the right path, you're gonna die. Again, think about the limitation of language and translation. But are you really happy when you're not in alignment? Like when you're not in alignment and you're just not happy. If you go back and look at like old pictures of me and you're like, well, you got this really good job and you're doing these really great things, but compare them to me now, you will not see an open teeth smile. It is not there. There is a difference. You're not as happy and blissful and joyful as you could be if you were walking it. Like, imagine the life of ease, like, well, shoot, I'm the Most High. What am I worried about? I'm just gonna okay, I'm just gonna walk. I'm manifesting the life that I need. I know what's gonna come when it's supposed to come. All is well. All is well. I am unlimited. I know that my spirit is always here. All is well. And that's what that looks like. So for the empowerment, which is your inspired action, is how can you be more in alignment? Like, what is something that you can do to move in alignment? And I'm going to circle this back to my self-love message from earlier. And self-love is about having an interest in how you are different from other people, and ways that you can learn that a lot of times we don't learn, because in organized religion, we don't learn esoteric, aka spiritual, metaphysical concepts like astrology and numerology. Go learn something if you don't know. Like, go learn, if you don't know your rising sign, sun, moon, and rising in midheaven, go learn those things. Pick one thing new to learn about you and revel in how different that makes you from the next person. Look at how that manifests in your life. Life path number is a real easy one. A life path number is an easy one to figure out. It's just your birthday. It's just doing the math on your birthday. You know your life path number, since it's just you?
4.
4? Oh. What kind of 4? You know what the math is? Is it like a 113 4?
No, when I
birthday?
looked it up, it said my birthday is January 7th, but when I looked it up, it said my life path number was a 4.
January 7th, what year?
1985.
85. Okay, so that's a 1, that's a 7, so that's an 8. Okay. And then 1985, there's a 13, 23 years, a 5. Okay, so you're a 13-4. So as a 13-4, 4 is all about the stability, being grounded, like structure, like please don't change a thing because I don't like change. Change, I don't like change. No, change is bad. Change is bad, okay? Like, but part of what you're also is you are learning how to create structure. The 1 energy is about self. It's about, and it's the divine masculine, so it's will and drive and self. It's also very structured, but that 3 is what gives you a little bit of nuance and flexibility. It is really high energy, and it's the energy of creation. It is creating energy. So in this life, it's not simply about structure. It is about how you create structure that works for you. And 9 times out of 10, there's probably a 5 somewhere in your chart to try to help balance out that structured energy. So you knew your life path. Your birthday number is a 7 because you're born on 7. And 7 is level-headed. So very level-headed, also structured, but 7 energy is really intellectual. and really intuitive, but a lot of times has to remind themselves that some things are above their spiritual pay grade.
Yeah.
Some things are above their spiritual pay grade. You have to let go and surrender, kind of like hangman energy. Like sometimes I'm like, okay, Lord, look, okay, fine, fine. My hands are off the wheel. My hands is off the wheel. Go ahead and drive. Go ahead, take the wheel. Go ahead and drive the car. Because this is nothing I can do. And then you have an 8 attitude number. So you find your attitude by adding the reduced month to the reduced day. So 1 + 7 is an 8. So you have, oh my God, my Comcast is doing the thing. Just let me know when you see me moving again. There we go. So 8 is about infinite possibilities. It is about abundance. This is a master. This is, again, you have 2 numbers right there just in your birthday close to manifestation. So 8 is about abundance, but learning abundance is not simply the financial abundance. It's understanding the power of money, but understanding you create abundance in all areas of your life and being intentional with that, knowing that it's going to come with work. But the reward when you're in alignment, very good business sense, very good business sense. Natural, like you have the January, which is a 1, the 7, which is a leadership number. So you have like that 1, that 7, and that 8 makes a strong leadership number. So like entrepreneurial kind of energy. So there's now several things that if you didn't know them already about your numerology chart, you just got for the free. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you. I
You're
received
welcome. Did you have any questions or comments about anything that I talked about that you caught?
Honestly, you right on the money. I don't really have any questions because every question that I had, you've been pretty, you were very concise with it. You are definitely right. You definitely have to be careful with when you start down the path to self-discovery, because you can't take those glasses off. And I remember lamenting to my friend earlier this week. I was like, sometimes I feel like maybe I should not have went and, started to learn tarot, started to learn, like how you say, about yourself or whatever, because like, I can't make my friends see that. I can't make my family, see that, because my biggest thing was I struggle with acceptance within my family and within myself, because like I said, my family are generational Pentecostals. So my mother, my grandmother, my grandfather, they were pastors or whatever. And I don't align with them. So a lot of the things, like when I do my tarot and everything, they get scared, So acceptance that they are not going to be able to understand from my point of view, because I struggled with that a long time. I really did. Like when I started my practice, it was in secret because my family was just against it, but knowing that you have these gifts and being more you're having more self-confidence and self-love to say, it's not for everybody, but it is for me, like I said, it's great encouragement to my heart, definitely, because you were right about some things. I'm gonna say probably like a month ago, I actually did decide to stop being so, being thrown by the hurricane or whatever. I was told that I'm a child of Shango, so that's probably a reason why I'm so stubborn or whatever. But I recently decided to stop being so stubborn and embrace that change and do more things that align. So everything that you were saying today was definitely right up on par with, how my heart had been feeling, but I just couldn't put it out into words. So this is definitely an illumination and a transformation for me. So
Shay, I am a priestess and daughter of Shango.
Oh, okay. Nice to meet you.
And Baba will always give you 2 ways to do things. Always. That's that double-sided axe. So it's always going to be 2 ways, and it's always just, and it's always going to be in alignment. So even if you choose a path and it takes you a longer way, it doesn't mean it's the wrong path. It's just a longer one. So learning how to tap into your intuition and say, okay, which one is, like, there's one path that's dense for the best way, and one that's light. What's the light path feel like? What can we go that way? Let me go move further into my light, because that's our, like, all of us are trying to simply become more light and become
Mhm.
more light. That's awesome. I love it. How did you feel about the psalm breakdown, especially growing up as a Pentecostal, and I did not grow up Christian? Like, how did you feel about the psalm breakdown?
Honestly, I really like that because, whenever you get into Psalms, in Christianity, they just say these were the songs that David wrote to God, but they just use them verbatim. They don't go, like, I'm not saying that they don't. In some churches they do, but for me, it was a greater knowledge of understanding to really break it down and to really, use terms that that makes it, even more of the human condition. Because one of the biggest things that because I have a religion wound. I've identified probably like 5 or 6 of them in myself or whatever. When you ask deeper questions like that, you're not enough of a believer, so that's why you have these type of questions, and that's usually what the outcome would be whenever you would ask like a deeper question, about, well, I don't know what chafe means. What does chafe mean? Well, you don't have the faith, so you can't, so that's why you don't know. So, having it broken down this way gives a greater understanding, and also, like I said, it relates to the human condition because um my grandma, she has a really bad habit of just being like, let go and let God. And I'm just like, but I'm here having a human experience. How can this help me on this journey? Like, I understand, of course, but I still have to live within me. How is this going to help? I can't disregard I can't disregard my humanity. So
That's a fact. And what you have to do is, that's where in your spiritual practice that the relationship with source and your spiritual team comes into play. Um, if I can give you a really recent, transparent example. So I worked at a day job, but I could see it was ending. I could see the signs.
yeah.
Every time I applied for a promotion, you're wonderful, but we gave it to somebody else. What do you mean? What do you mean? But I could see it. Last year on Clubhouse, I'm in an astrology room. They're talking about Uranus oppositions, and I'm just like, oh, something's about to happen with work. I can see it in my birth chart. Something's about to happen. Oh my God, what's about to happen with work? They started telling us to go back to the office, but at this point in where my life was, I needed to continue to work from home. And so I had been trying to advocate for that. And I was kept hitting walls, and I just didn't feel good. So one day, because I know me, sometimes you also have to recognize the cycle so that you can end it. And my cycle was staying in places and relationships too long, ignoring the signs that it was supposed to end and continuing to stay fighting against the ending, fighting my tower moment from happening.
Yeah.
So I sat down at my altar and I said, look, I know you want me to quit my job. I am acknowledging this. However, Lord, I still live on earth and you still got money here. So I don't have 5, 6, 7 months of income in my account to quit my job. I have the boys, I have to make sure they're taken care of. I can't quit my job.
Mhm.
If you want me to quit, I need help. I need either clients for my business or 5, 6, 7 months of income, however they need to come into the account. You give me that job, I can go.
Mhm.
So I was very specific in that prayer. Got on a call it's been just a month now, been just about a month on Tuesday. It'll be a month. And meeting with my manager. I thought she was in a meeting with somebody else. She's like, hey, you're gonna join us? Us. Who's us? Oh, it's me and Jen. That's our HR person.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, this is about to be so. And they laid me off.
Oh.
Thank 10 years. And that was the other thing. For me, numerology, this is a 9-year personally. 9 is about endings. I'm getting ready to go into a new cycle.
Okay.
10 is endings and new beginnings.
New
This is my
beginnings.
10-year
Mm.
at that job.
Oh.
So when they told me, I kind of didn't have an emotional reaction in that moment because I knew it needed to end. But I also realized I asked for it to happen in a way that would be, or I didn't feel like I was ignoring what the divine wanted, but I could still honor the fact I'm still living a human life.
Mhm.
I still have human needs. And that's what you have to do. It's just like that, let go and let God talk to, you're the co-creator in your story. You're co-writing this with the creator. So like, okay, look, Lord, I know I can see, I got the message. You want dot, 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 dot. However, Lord, in order for me to do dot, 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 I need this, 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 this. So tell me, Lord, how to do this, either without it or help me get that. This help me do it without it, or give me the stuff that I need, and I got you. Either way, I want to do this thing with you, but this is what I need so I can do this thing with you. And thank you for giving me what I need. And immediately, thank you. Now you know what I need. Thank you. I already know because I can feel it in my being. I'm excited. You're already going to bring it to me. Boom, we're good. Ask for the signs. If you want to send me something so that I know that you got the message on the answer machine, cool. This is a sign that will help me to know that, whatever that needs to be. And then that way you have it. And I think sometimes people, it kind of have to decide, pick and choose your battles. If you want your family to accept, understand, like, relate the tarot cards to pages in the Bible. Like, when y'all have an issue and you have a question and you're concerned, what do? You sit with your Bible, say, no, I'm just going to open my Bible, and whatever comes up, that's that message God wants me to have. It's the exact same thing. It's the same thing. It's an allegory. This is an allegory to help give me the answer God wants me to have. It's the same thing.
Same thing.
Same thing. Same thing, different language. Even with the Psalm, like if you break down, like take the breakdown of the Psalm, that's something y'all can talk about. You're like, boom, this is Psalm. The Psalm is a book of songs and spells. Like that, like for that one, when I read it, it's like, this is about being in alignment. If I'm trying to do spell work to help me be in more alignment with myself, and I wanted to use something, Psalms 1 is the one to use. Help me be in alignment with you, Lord. Help me to walk as you. That's the perfect one. I'm like, oh,
that's right.
That's how they do it. And doing some research on, I feel like the Pentecostal has hoodoo traditions weaved in their stuff. I feel like there's one of the churches, and I feel like it's Pentecostal. It might be another one, but doing some research about the correlation between hoodoo and the Pentecostal church. I don't know why that's coming to me, and I could be completely off, but I feel like there's a correlation there.
Okay.
All right. So it is just you. And I said, if time permitted, I would pull a card. I cannot believe I have been talking for 2 hours.
Yeah. I'm sorry,
like,
I got you.
Like I looked, it's like it's almost 12. And I went ahead and started a little after 10. So you'll be able to see the whole recording. Would you like an inspired action and self-care card, fellow reader?
Yes, I would be honored. Thank you.
All right. All right. So gonna call in your spiritual team. So if you say a quiet prayer to yourself, that your higher self will let whatever you're supposed to know in this moment, that I channeled it for you. And I'm just going to do one out loud. All praise be to the Most High Creator, the divine source of all. I give thanks for my guest joining at a perfect moment in time based on where I was in my message, Ashe. And in this moment, I would like to do an individualized inspired action to align with their spirit, with their energy that they can take with them today, Ashe. And I pray that their higher self, ancestors, or the in spiritual team, thank you. Ashe, amen. All right. One inspired action and one self-care. So let's get an inspired action. One inspired action for Rumi to take today. What's the one inspired action for her to have for today? Oh, a bad shuffle. One inspired action. There we go. Okay, and let's get you a self-care. Self-care.
Hopefully it says play video games and not.
That's funny. That's funny. Ooh. Okay. So let me see what this is. This is your card so that you see it. The Two of Wands.
Oh, cool.
Wow. Okay. So this is so weird. It's random. So this is the first time I ever actually looked at these wands. And they're red, black, and white, which immediately made me like, I saw the red and white first, which made me think of Shango, but then I looked at the whole thing and it made me think about Eshu. So pay attention to messages that you will receive today, whether it was a message that I gave you or other. I'll make sure you get the playback link. Oh God. Yeah, listen and learn, and then decide what action you want to take. On a journey, you're on a journey to yourself. So make sure you take one step towards it today. And someone's calling to you, so listen. Pay attention to your energy, because your self-care was rest. So it's funny that you said something about playing video games. Like your self-care was rest.
Yes.
If you have been feeling energetically like you just don't have it, honor that. Been feeling energetically, you just don't have it. Mars is in shadow and is getting ready to go retrograde.
No, not Mars. Oh.
Yeah. If you, I think it's on my page, but I did a blog on Mars retrograde. So if you go under my blogs, there's something on there, and I did a post. I don't think I shared it in my business page. It's on my personal page, but Mars is getting ready to go retrograde. But the other day I felt called to post, if you feel called to sleep, sleep.
Yeah.
Feel called to be still, because Mars energy is so potent and it does go retrograde often. And so now its motion is slowed. So our energy is reflective of this slowing down of Mars. And also, if you are in a spiritual awakening, which I feel like is where you're at, you're getting these upgrades to your energetic body. Your physical body needs to catch up. Your physical body needs to catch up with the etheric upgrades that you're getting, because it's still got to hold all this energy. So sometimes it needs you to sleep. So whatever it can do needs to do to your physical body to be able to hold all the energy, the new energy that you're encoding. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. I actually have not been able to get any sleep for like, I'm gonna say probably like the last 2 weeks. I've been up. I don't know why. Like I've been up probably several times during the night. I get up at like 3, and it's always double numbers, 444. Wait, it's every time I get up, I always see a double number when I'm up real early in the morning. So that really makes a lot of sense, because that's all I've been wanting to do is just rest. Like I had an event that I was supposed to go to today, but the first thing in my mind was like, you need to go lay back down and go to sleep.
Yes, and honor that. And if you're waking up, especially to angel numbers at that time in the morning, sit for a minute and see what thoughts come up and just write them. Don't judge them. Don't try to give them any interpretation in that moment. Simply write. Simply write, because that makes sense, because I kept feeling like somebody's trying to get your attention. So ancestor and angel could be trying to get your attention, and so they keep waking you up at that time. You know, it's called the witching hour for a reason.
Yeah, it is.
That's the time sometimes when I wake up and it's like 3, 4 in the morning, I'm like, if I don't remember a dream, I have to lay there for a minute and see what happens. And a lot of people say, don't scroll. You would actually be surprised how many times the download came because I allowed myself to scroll and something caught my eye. Okay. So don't judge how it works for you. Be the mystic. But if you're waking up with angel numbers at something in the morning, somebody's trying to get your attention. Yeah. Somebody wants your attention, and it's like, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So that if you're not writing your dreams down at that time, write those down too.
Okay.
Like if you allowed yourself to go to sleep and you wake up and it's like, okay, well, I was just dreaming about such and such a thing, write it down. Even if you can't remember like movie script length of the dream, it don't matter. Write down what you can remember because there could be something else going on.
Okay.
That makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense. That's like I said, I couldn't figure out for the life of me, why. It's like the house is still, nothing's going on. The cat's okay, the kid's okay. Why am I up so early? And I just can't go back to sleep. And
You
you're
know
right.
your rising sign?
My rising is Scorpio. Yeah.
Okay, so this is really going to impact you because it's Mars and Mars rules Scorpio as one of the co-rulers of Scorpio.
That's why I was like,
So
not shadow.
yeah, Mars. So yeah, so this is going to impact you really heavy. So pay attention to your first house. Hold on. I wrote them down. I haven't done my TikToks yet. I'm going to do them today, but I did write down which houses were impacted by Mars retrograde. Where did I stick it? Hold on, I'll tell you. Because I wrote down all the houses for all the rising signs. Wait. You are a Scorpio rising. Ooh, did I not write down Scorpio? What the heck? Okay, Libra. So, okay, so Mars is going to be retrograde in your 8th house. It's going to be impacting your first and your 6th house, your first house, your 6th house really directly because both of those are your Mars ruled houses. Maybe not as potent, but you may still notice some fluctuation in your 11th, 2nd, and 5th houses as well.
Wow.
Yeah, so Mars is going retrograde in Gemini. So it's going to impact. I didn't write the air sign houses. That's the only ones I didn't do. So Gemini is a mutable sign. So it's going to affect the mutable signs to an extent. And it's going to affect obviously Gemini. And it's going to affect the Mars ruled houses. So those are your mutable houses, your Mars ruled house, and obviously the house that Mars is retrograded.
Okay.
So there you go. Now you got a lot of goodies. So this is your first SoulFull Saturday. What did you think? Would you come back? What would you like to see me do next time? Would you bring a friend? I would love some feedback so I can take it.
I thought that this was phenomenal. I'm sorry for not coming in. I was trying to, like I said, I had got invited to an event, but I had to cancel. I had to tell them I wasn't gonna come. I'm just gonna just rest today. Honestly, this was phenomenal. I actually did share it on my page. So my friends, they, hopefully they'll pop in next time, and I'm going to share it on my business page, Wild Moon Botanica, so even more people will come in. But I will definitely invite my friends. As a matter of fact, when I get off here, I'm going to be like, I don't want to not see you in this, so don't, like, we're doing this together, so but I really thought that this was very informational. It was very, very encouraging. It was, like I said, just so much of a blessing, honestly, because we have to have a source where we can tap in. And sometimes, like for me, I feel like I got all this information coming in. How do I make sense of it? How can I, divest this into what's going to best be beneficial for me? Because, the new age movement is going on right now. There's so many people doing like the same thing, but yours is very original. It is very personable as well. And like I said, just the ease of access, the ease of energy, the vibe is just perfect. So I would definitely give it 2 thumbs up, and I recommend it as well.
Thank you. I so appreciate it. Well, I'm gonna download this And hopefully by sometime this afternoon, I'm hungry now. Like I feel like, yeah, I'm gonna eat.
Yeah,
Um,
me too.
so I'm gonna upload this, and then I'm gonna share the link um out so that you can see it, and anybody that maybe missed it is like, okay, what is this about? Um, so I'm gonna make, I'll share the whole thing, and that way they can say, okay, this is what it feels like to come to SoulFull Saturday. This is what
Yeah,
SoulFull Saturday, this the vibe, this is what we doing.
it is.
All the dates for the whole year are on my site. So you can just look at the calendar and RSVP all the
Okay,
ones you feel like
cool.
you'll be available for. I did all the way through December. I just haven't done 2023 yet.
Okay, I'll do that I'll do that here shortly. Most definitely, I'll put it in my planner.
All right. And shameless, no, this is not a shameless plug. If you like spoken word, November 5th, I have a show at Icons.
Oh, let me write that down because I love spoken word. November
Yep,
5th.
it's on my events page. Tickets are only $33. I will have copies of all of my poetry books there for people who want to purchase. I will be
Cool.
signing books. I'm doing the poetry themes will all be either love, lust, or spiritual. And I'm going to take you through a journey. So they'll start spiritual, everybody's vibration is raised. Awesome. Then I'm going to romance everybody. And then I'm going to send you home, try to figure out who you're going to call at 10 o'clock. Come through. I'm sending you home. There's going to be some godchildren born as Leos following this event. So, like, saying, no, just do what
Okay,
I do.
that's
So,
cool.
but yeah, if you like spoken word, by all means, feel free to come share with a friend. It's going to be a whole vibe.
Yay, I will definitely be there.
Awesome. Well, take care, get some rest, and thank you again for sharing space with me. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you for everything. This was fantastic, and I can't wait to see you next Saturday.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye.